Yo, what is going on everyone? Thank you for joining me for another manga chapter review. In today's video, we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at the brand new My Hero Academia chapter 349, titled Battle Flame. And before we jump into the video, guys, I want to go ahead and tell you guys thank you so much for all of the support and pretty much all the views on my previous Jujutsu Kaisen video. Now, currently, I believe that video is at 320 views, which is absolutely awesome. And we've managed to get even more subscribers off that video, which is absolutely awesome. So, a huge shout out and thank you to everybody who checked that video out and everybody who left an awesome comment. I was reading through those comments earlier today, and it just absolutely made my day, guys. You guys are just so freaking amazing for just showing up on the videos, showing support for the videos. So like I said before, guys, I really can't thank you guys enough for all of the support on these last few videos. But before we jump into the synopsis, guys, I want to go ahead and let you guys know, if you do like anime and manga related stuff, please consider sticking around and subscribing to the channel. And if you do like today's video, go ahead and hit that like button and let me know your comment and thoughts on the video down in the comment section below. What did you think of the manga chapter, and what sort of theories or thoughts do you have going into the next chapter? But with all that out of the way, guys, let's just go ahead and jump into the damn chapter already. Starting the chapter off, we begin with Midoriya immediately leaving the battle with Toga to Uraraka and Tsu. Being overcome by a flood of emotions, Midoriya desperately tries to rush to Shigaraki, telling himself that although he's using the 7th user's Fa-Jin quirk as well as his arm force, he's still too slow. With Midoriya being in the middle of the sea, he realizes this to be a huge issue, stating that he cannot use Black Whip to sling off of anything. Now having his mind becoming cluttered with desperate ideas, we see the 2nd user communicate, telling Midoriya not to lose his cool. Noticing that his decisions are now becoming muttered, he should not become so reliant on exhausting himself before making it to the battle with Shigaraki, with the 2nd user of One For All asking Midoriya if he was able to use his meta ability. Midoriya responding yes, the 2nd user tells him that using it should only be as a last resort, going into detail as to how his meta quirk has significantly strengthened due to the time that has elapsed. He says that it's transformed into a very useful but specific type of power. With his power having grown with every new incarnation of One For All, he says that his new and improved quirk is something well beyond their control. The 2nd user of One For All now reassuring the flustered Midoriya to not lose hope, he tells him that he must believe in his friends, as all of them are walking their own paths, and that he must focus on his own battle. With the conversation between the 2nd user and Midoriya wrapping up, we see both Uraraka and Tsu getting ready to deal with Toga once and for all. Realizing that Midoriya is now gone, Tsu tells Uraraka that Midoriya wouldn't be able to ignore her words after having them bottled up for so long. Toga, continuing her lovesick rampage, tells them that she is done with Midoriya, Uraraka, and Tsu. With a clash of wills taking place in both Toga and Uraraka, they now look to end their quarrel with their fists, once and for all. Continuing the frantic war battles, we switch over to Kamino Ward, where Todoroki as well as Burnin and other Endeavor sidekicks look to take down Dabi. With a giant Nomu appearing throwing a wrench in the heroes' plan, Dabi standing atop the All Might statue tells everyone how nostalgic the view looks. Ida, showing concern for Todoroki, calls out to him, but due to his engines overheating if he gets too close, cannot provide much support. Dabi, not satisfied with Todoroki's response, antagonizes his younger brother by throwing an attack at him whilst bad-mouthing Endeavor. With Kido and Anima, both of Endeavor's sidekicks, helping to quell and redirect Dabi's immense flames, they do this as an attempt to allow Todoroki to get closer to his brother. Burnin, now giving Todoroki words of encouragement to face his older brother, tells him that we'll entrust that duty to you. We'll support you with everything we've got. Todoroki telling his older brother Dabi that he isn't here because of anyone else's orders, telling him that he himself wanted to come here and face him and stop him for his wrongdoings. Dabi telling Todoroki that this war is the result of everyone's feelings exploding at the same time. Todoroki asking his delusioned older brother that if he were still alive, how come he never returned home? Dabi lowering his guard tells Todoroki that since he's his older brother, despite being a villain now, he will indulge him as to why he became a villain. We end the chapter with a final panel of Dabi reaching a new and terrifying transformation. The new and terrifying Dabi now telling Todoroki he will tell him why his flames never extinguished, and how they've come to surpass even those of Endeavor's masterpiece. With this deadly cliffhanger, we finally have closure as to why Dabi turned on his father, family, and society. Will Todoroki be able to extinguish the bright flames of his brother's heart? Or will Dabi overpower his brother with the dark flames born from his heart? And alright guys, that is going to go ahead and wrap up the synopsis portion of chapter 349. Now we're going to go ahead and transition on over into my review of the chapter. And yo, what was this chapter? Oh my gosh, bro, this chapter was off the charts. This chapter was absolutely so crazy. I mean, there are so many crazy like takeaways from this chapter, so much going on in this chapter that, listen guys, I'm gonna need to take a sip of my energy drink real quick just to recharge my energy and hypeness, because this chapter literally took like my energy away from me. It siphoned my energy away from me. This chapter essentially all for one my ass and took away all of my life force and my power. So I'm gonna take a quick sip of this energy drink, and then I'm just gonna completely just like hammer away everything that was going. Let me just shut up and take a drink. Oh my god. All right guys, so this chapter was just absolutely crazy. I mean, I thought last chapter was really good, and the chapter before it with the Shigaraki sort of growth, but this is even, I feel like this is even better guys, because not only are we gonna get the Dabi backstory in the next chapter, but we've got a little bit more info and more stuff to theorize with the second One for All users meta ability. So this is crazy. I really like how they introduced and re-brought back in the second One for All user, because for a while I kind of forgot about him. I forgot about him and the third user, because those are the only two users we don't actually have identification on in the One for All, I should say, sorry, sort of user list. We have pretty much the quirk ability info on everyone except those two. So I'm really hyped guys for this, because this guy is telling Midoriya that, listen, the time that I've been pretty much dormant inside One for All, my quirk has been getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So pretty much with every new incarnation and new user of One for All, his quirk has pretty much just been getting like been multiplying in itself and just getting crazier, to the point where he even tells him that this quirk is something we can't control anymore. So I suspect when Midoriya finally is able to tap into this ability, that it will be a very similar situation to Black Whip in the Class 1A versus 1B sort of tournament. I suspect that's what's going to happen, because I don't feel like it would be right if Midoriya was able to tap into this ability, because if we notice, Midoriya, well, he is asked by the second user, like, were you able to, try to use my quirk? And Midoriya's like, yeah, I couldn't use it. Like, it's no use. I can't use it. So I feel like when he does finally be able to tap into that, it's going to be a Black Whip sort of situation all over again. Now, how that's going to play out, I really couldn't tell you, but I will tell you this, that when that happens, it's going to be absolutely like crazy to see. Just on the account that we don't even know what the ability is. We just know that it's like pretty much God tier at this point. So it will be very interesting to see, and I wonder if we'll get some dialogue between Midoriya and the third user soon, because we got the second user. we got the second user, so I'm very interested to see if we're going to get the third user within the upcoming chapters. I would almost say yes, but we'll have to see how that transpires within these chapters in the war overall. So, I mean, that is the first thing about this chapter that absolutely, like, just made me go crazy and just get so filled with hype. But the second thing that made me so hype is Dabi. I mean, Dabi, I really am liking the family narrative between him and Todoroki. I like it a little bit more than the war arc, the Kamino war arc, because I feel like Dabi this time around is getting more personal with Todoroki, as opposed to him just trying to completely like shut Endeavor down. He's just trying to, he's almost trying to be a little bit more like wholesome with Todoroki, if we notice, because he even told Todoroki, like, listen, you know, even though I'm a villain now, you're still my younger brother and I'm still your older brother, so I'll tell you why I essentially never came back home and I decided to strike out as a villain. So I mean, listen guys, this you can quote me on this. You can quote me. We'll be back with that chapter review, but you can quote me. The Dabi, or, you know, his real name Toya backstory will, I think it's going to be probably one of the best backstories we've seen, because we got a glimpse of it in the manga, you know, in the Paranormal Kamino War arc, but I think that was just only like the tip of the iceberg, because we only saw him as a child. We never saw him like after he because he dislocated his jaw, I remember, so we don't know what happened after he was presumed dead, and they never looked for him. They couldn't find him, so I think there's going to be a lot. I almost think there could be multiple chapters spanning over his backstory. I really do think so, because I feel like there's the potential for Horikoshi to do that. So I would be very interested in to see multiple chapters spanning his backstory and just showing the evolution of Toya being this distraught boy, not being able to live up to his father's expectations, to this like sort of imperfection, like masterpiece that's like becoming even greater than his father. So that is just going to be like absolutely dope to see. And then also, we still have other villains we need to go ahead and look at in their situation in this war, like Shigaraki, Spinner, and then even All for One. So this war is just absolutely heating up, and it really took me by surprise with this whole war, or the second part of the war starting. So that is just absolutely crazy. So this chapter, out of 5, I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid 6. This chapter was absolutely crazy. This chapter was so crazy, I had to give it an extra star. I had to give it extra credit. It got extra credit on this for this chapter. Absolutely amazing. So my expectations for the next chapter are even higher for this chapter. So I'm sure Horikoshi won't let us down with the presumed Toya/Dabi backstory. So we will have to see, guys. So I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts about the chapter, because to me this chapter was absolutely flames, like no pun intended, or pun intended if you want. But yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts on the chapter down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of the chapter? Are you guys excited, should I say, for Toya's backstory, or are you excited for another villain sort of getting exposure in this war? Let me know down in the comment section below. But that is going to be it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the review and video here. I just want to go ahead and thank everybody for all of the support on the channel thus far. If you guys are into anime and manga related stuff, and this is your first time viewing the channel, please consider sticking around and hitting that subscribe button, as it greatly helps the channel out. We're almost at 150 subscribers, and I can't believe it, guys. You guys are just absolutely amazing. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. See ya!